What is really good? I am Talea, and this is Not Your Average Tea Talks. Thank you for joining the party. All right, so you clicked on this video because we got a juicy question today on our Q&A here. But before I get into it, I want to give you a little bit about myself. I am a former Staff Sergeant of Marines. I served for 10 years from 2010 to 2020. And, I transitioned out during COVID. So I am using YouTube to document some of the things that I've been experiencing since, the world shut down and while transitioning out of the military simultaneously. I'm using YouTube to document my journey. But in the meanwhile, I used to be a recruiter in the military. So I am also giving information, as much information as I can, because there aren't many people that look like me that are giving out this information on this platform. So that's what I'm using it to do. All right, I hope that's good. I hope that's enough. I got other videos about other things. If you want to know what my MOS is, if you want to know, some other things about me, they're all there. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to move into this question because it is loaded and I got to try to answer it the best that I can. And I want to try to, give y'all something to eat. You know what I mean? All right. So the question is, how motivated do you have to be to get through boot camp? Let's say you decide to enlist and you were on and off about choosing to make the decision. If you had some doubts in your mind that this may be possibly a bad decision, but you end up enlisting anyways, will you be able to make it through knowing that you didn't enlist 100%? There are some people who dream of this since they were a kid who are 100% in it when they enlist. Can you survive through boot camp if you're not 100%? You made the decision knowing it could possibly not be right. So there are so many ways that I can answer this question. And before I start rambling and just saying a whole bunch of stuff, I want to put this disclaimer out there and say, if you are a Marine, if you are a drill instructor, if you are someone who, has an opinion about this, please leave it in the comments. But be respectful and be mindful that the people that I'm talking to are poolies, are people in the delayed entry program, are people who are thinking about enlisting, people who are thinking about joining. So be respectful and be mindful that these people don't necessarily have that oorah that the Marine Corps has. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that motivation, that hardcore dedication, that thing in their bones. They may not have that. Okay? So be patient with them. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to be patient, and I'm going to try to explain this in a way that makes sense. So let me answer the question. Can you make it through boot camp if you are not 100% absolutely sure that you belong there? The answer is yes. For maybe a couple reasons, but I'll start here. The first reason is boot camp is set up technically to where they accommodate everyone at a novice level. Meaning you have zero knowledge of what it's like to be in the military, zero knowledge of any of the customs, courtesies, and traditions, zero knowledge of anything that you should know about the military. That's what boot camp is set up like from the beginning. From day one, they give you this big green monster, this big green book, and you open it up and it says the Marine Corps is a military organization. It doesn't, but it might as well because it trains you from the bottom up. So can you actually get through boot camp before you are 100% absolutely certain? Technically, yes. You can 100% physically slide through the cracks. You can. But the real answer to that is it depends on you. It really does. It depends on your ability to not quit because everybody's different. And everybody comes from different levels of challenges in their life and things that they've had to persevere and withstand. So here's my real answer. Although you can technically make it through boot camp because it's set up for you to succeed, I don't know if you would want to if you're not 100% certain. But here's the reason why that gets a little misconstrued, because sometimes when people go to boot camp, they absolutely hate it, and by the time you get to the fleet, you end up loving it, and it was the best thing that ever happened to you. Boot camp is set up for you to succeed when you don't know anything. But can you make it through boot camp? Absolutely. Technically, you can. Should you make it through boot camp if you're not 100% certain? I don't really know. But if in the event that you do, you could make an outstanding Marine. It could be the best thing that ever happened to you since sliced bread, or you could enlist and realize that it was a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake. So I know to answer that question, it seems like it's all over the place, but honestly, there's no good way to answer it. Look, man, woman, everything in between, there is the United States Marine Corps is not a place for the weak-hearted. And what I mean by that is you've got to know that you're going to finish no matter what. Whether you die trying or not, you are going to finish. Not that you are going to finish United States Marine Corps boot camp, but that you are going to finish any activity that anybody puts in your way. Any obstacle that anybody puts in your way, you're going to finish. You've got to just know that. You've got to know that in the back of your mind. And if you could just finish, you're fine. Nobody said you had to finish first. Nobody said you had to be the best. Nobody said you had to be the strongest, the fastest, the smartest. Nothing. You just have to know that no matter what obstacle is put in front of me, I am going to finish. That will get you through boot camp. It will. I promise you, if you go there with that mentality. They will try to give you every obstacle they possibly can. But they can't hurt you. They can't hit you. They can't put their hands on you. You're not going to be put in positions where you're in hostile environments where you might die. It's a training facility. It's a training unit. If you're high up on a platform, there's a net down there at the bottom to catch you so you don't die. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's set up for you to succeed, but you got to try. You got to try, and not only that, but no, I'm going to finish in the end. Even if it takes everything out of me, I'm going to finish. Even if I'm the worst and I'm the last one, I'm going to finish. That mindset will get you through boot camp, 100%. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that happens over time. So sometimes you got to give yourself time. So if you are on the verge of not knowing, I would suggest going to boot camp, trying it out. And if you don't succeed, you'll be home in the first week. Easy day. You know? All right, so let me answer the rest of these questions. All right, so the next question is, do you get to wear sunscreen in Marine boot camp? I'm really glad you asked that question. Yes, you get to wear sunscreen in Marine Corps boot camp, and you get to take showers, and you get to wear lotion, and you are still human, okay? So you are still expected to shave and use the bathroom and stuff like that. So yes, you do absolutely have the opportunity to wear sunscreen. The way it works is the drill instructors take all of the recruits to the PX, or excuse me, to the military exchange store that's on base. They have everybody go into the store, grab the items that they need, and then use them throughout boot camp. A lot of times they do like community share, so everyone purchases the item, and then they just got one for every recruit that's actually in the unit, and then they go from there. So absolutely, sunscreen priority. Same thing with, you know, lotion and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. When in Marine Corps training process after boot camp, can you get access? Oh, when in the Marine Corps training process after boot camp, can you get access to things like internet and the laptop? As soon as you graduate, you're a human being again. Okay, so as soon as you graduate from boot camp, you have access to things like a cell phone, a laptop, internet, Wi-Fi, all that stuff, because you're no longer in training. When you're in boot camp, it's 3 months of isolation where you are not privy to the outside world. But after you graduate, you're a human being again, and now you function in the world as a Marine, but in the world. So yeah, I can go into depth with that later on, but right after you graduate boot camp is the answer to that question. What are some of the careers you've seen female reservists do along with being a Marine, and some of the careers that females on active duty do after their service? So that one I feel like is a loaded question. I'm probably going to answer that in a different video. But some of the careers that I've seen female reservists do, I've only actually worked with one reservist unit. And the women that worked in that unit, they were combat camera. So reservists, they have different job descriptions depending on the state that you're in. Different responsibilities that different units have will depend on what jobs are available at different stations. So like I said, we had combat camera up in New Jersey because we had a requirement for it, and they were really good at it. What are some of the careers that you've seen them do after service? That's a loaded question because it just really depends. It depends on the person. I've seen people be extremely successful as entrepreneurs. I've seen people go into other career forces and be extremely successful, etc. So I have to do some research on that and think. But let's see. Last question that I'm going to reserve for the day is, or two. Do reservists have piercings? Can reservists have piercings? So I'm not going to read that whole question. Long story short, the question is about piercings. The Marine Corps has a policy on piercings where males are not authorized to wear piercings in uniform at all. Females are authorized to wear piercings in uniform, but they're only piercings in the ears, in each of the one in each of the lobes. Okay, and those earrings can be either gold balls, pearls, or diamond studs, I'm pretty sure, depending on what uniform you're in. So that's the piercing policy. If it's not in that policy, like this nose ring is not allowed. Even with that clear piercing that you can put inside of the, you can't wear that. You can't have external piercings in the Marine Corps uniform, period. So that kind of answers that question, hopefully. And then last question I'm going to answer is, if your MOS isn't a fighting MOS, can you still see combat? And can female Marines be sent to combat even if their MOS, if they're not their MOS? The answer to both of those questions is yes and yes. Even if you are not in a combative MOS in the Marine Corps, every Marine is a rifleman. So you may still find yourself in a combative situation, although you are not assigned a combative MOS. Now, how it works is nobody's typing on a computer and they just run into the office and they're like, "Get your gun, we gotta go." Like, that doesn't happen, right? But it could. So by law, I gotta tell you that it could, because every Marine is a rifleman and every Marine is trained to use a weapon if in the event it's necessary. So if we were stationed in a foreign country and there was some sort of war going on and they attacked the base, we could absolutely pick up arms and keep it moving, right? So yes, you could find yourself in a combative situation even though you're a non-combative MOS. And can women be sent to combat even if there's not in their MOS? Yes, absolutely. Right now, the Marine Corps is expanding their policies to allow women in combative roles, and women have been serving in combative roles for years. It just hasn't really been in the forefront of the media. So the answer is absolutely. Women are now allowed to serve in combative roles, and if you meet the qualifications, have at it. Yeah, so that's it. So I am really happy that I was able to answer some of these questions. I hope some of them I gave answers that you were like, okay, that actually answered the question and didn't just confuse you more. But I hope I was able to do something for you. I hope I was able to help you out. If you've got any more questions, please leave them in the comments. As you can see, I'm answering all kinds of questions, no matter what you're talking about, no matter what it's about. Just ask away, and I'll see that I can do my best and get it done. Okay? But other than that, thank you for being here. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm really interested in your comments, though, so hook me up. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.